This 30-minute Hatha yoga class will cultivate curiosity. Welcome to Yoga with Melissa, real yoga for real people. For today's class, you're going to need a block, a blanket, and a chair. Let's start by resting back. Begin by feeling the support of the earth underneath you. Let any tension and holding from your body sink down and into the earth. Breathe in and out through your nose, gently, quietly, and softly. And continue to rest back here, and I'll sit up and give you some context for today's class. C.C. Chang says, the greater the doubt, the greater the awakening. The smaller the doubt, the smaller the awakening. No doubt, no awakening. When we demand perfection and excellence of ourselves all the time, we become controlling. In our bodies, this feels like tension. In our minds, this feels like pressure. In our emotions, this feels like anger and frustration. In our energy, this feels like stagnation. In our spirits, this feels like lack of vision and creativity. In this Hatha yoga class, we will challenge ourselves to let go of controlling the perfect outcome, the well-worn path of following what we know. When we open ourselves to trying new things, we can cultivate curiosity. Instead of being the expert, we can open to being spontaneous and try to be a beginner again. This allows us to move from stagnation and bitterness to enthusiasm and inquisitiveness. Being right and doing the right thing can lead to dogma. Certainty leads to rigidity. And because a certain mind knows exactly what it needs to do and has no room for possibility, we're going to open to beginner's mind. A beginner's mind is an open mind because it's a searching mind. It's looking for new ways to do things. Certainty is a disability because you're always sure your way is the right way. You can only learn new ways when you recognize that certainty is blocking your creativity and playfulness. So let us embark on this class with a willingness to not know how our body will move and to allow ourselves to be stimulated and renewed through creative and playful movement. You can stretch out, bend your knees, roll to your side, and you're either going to make your way up to standing on your knees, or if you have knee issues, you're going to start by sitting in that chair and do all the same movements with your arms from a sitting position in the chair, or you can even stand up. It's up to you. Whatever works best for you and your body today. There's no better or best or right or wrong. So from this position, we're going to be playful and creative with our arms. You're going to move your arms in as many different ways as you can imagine. So you can internally and externally rotate them. You can move them across your body. You can open them up. You can lift them and lower them, so you can do figure eights. So as many different ways as you can think of moving your arms straight up and down. And you can probably come up with more ways than I can. Any way that you can think of. No right or wrong, no better, best. Okay, and then you're going to give yourself a little cheer for coming up with lots of good ways to move your arms. So then, the next one we're going to do is we're going to kneel, and we're going to come from kneeling lunge up to standing. So I'm going to show you the modification in the chair first, an option for in the chair. And you can choose which version you want to do. So I'm going to put the chair here. So if you want to come from the chair, you're going to come from a lunge in the chair, and you can hold on to the chair for balance. And you're going to come up, bring your knee up, extend, and you're going to come back to the lunge. Okay? That's the option from the chair. And then you would just, when we switch sides, you'll just turn the whole thing around, and you'll come from here. Okay? So that's your version. Otherwise, you're going to come from kneeling here. You're going to come up. You're going to walk your right foot through. You're going to bring your left knee up and through. Extend it. Come back down. And come back down to kneeling. Then you come back up. Walk your left leg through to lunge. You're going to come all the way up to standing. Lift your right knee up. Extend your right leg. Bring it back. Step down and come to kneeling. So we're going to keep doing that on both sides. You're just going to be willing to be curious about how your body moves through that movement, not worry about being perfect, be willing to make mistakes. And that's the whole exercise. Be willing to try it in the chair if you want to, whatever works best for you. So we'll just keep going with that movement. Up, lunge, knee up, leg extends, and coming back, and down. You come up, you come to lunge, you bring your right knee up, your leg extends, you come back, and down to kneeling. So right knee forward, lunge, come up, left knee comes up, leg extends, and down. Left leg forward for lunge, right leg through for knee up. Then left leg forward for lunge. I think I just did that side. Right knee forward for knee through. And then we're going to go right leg forward, left knee up. And okay, so left leg forward, right knee through. Sorry about the head being cut off. And we'll do one more each side. So right leg forward for lunge, left knee comes through and leg extends. And then left leg comes forward for lunge, right leg comes through and extends. Okay, I'm going to show you the next option on the chair. So the next option on the chair is you're going to sit on the chair and then you're just going to come up and sit down. Come up and sit down. So it's a low chair pose, okay? And then if you want to take it from the ground, you're just going to choose what's best for you and your body. We're going to come from kneeling to chair pose, back to kneeling, and we're going to alternate what leg we're going to come up with. Remember, there's just creative ways to come into the poses, and we're just playing around with it. We're having fun. We're just being curious about how these poses feel in our body, okay? So let's start with left leg forward, come up into chair pose, and come back down. And then we're going to come forward with the right leg into chair pose, and back down. And then we'll do left leg again, chair pose, and back down. And right leg into chair pose, and back down. Left leg. And right leg. Left leg. And right leg. Left leg. And right leg. And one more each side. Left leg. And right leg. Okay, for the next pose, you're going to need a blanket to elevate your pelvis for the forward folds and a block. So you can sit, and we're done with the chair. So I'm going to put it off to the side. Okay, so you're going to come into a seated forward fold with your legs wide and just place the block in front of you. And you can have the option to sit in a forward fold. Or you can use the block as a playful prop here. Sit up nice and tall. And you can, I think I might move the block out a little bit. You can lift your leg and lower, lift and lower. You can lift the height of the block, stay tall, lift and lower, lift and lower. You can continue to lift the height of the block, lift and lower, lift and lower. And then we'll take our feet into Baddha Konasana. Stay nice and tall. We're going to hinge forward, rotate, and rotate. We're going to hinge forward and hinge forward. And we're going to do that sequence one more time. So we've got the block. Lift nice and tall. You're going to lift and lower. Or you can stay seated forward, remember. Your choice, whatever's best for you. Lift and lower. You can go higher. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. And you can try this setting too. LA, Chicago, New York. That's great. And then bring your legs into Baddha Konasana. Inhale nice and tall. Exhale. Exhale. Rotate. Rotate. And then we're going to come back to center and you're going to take your Savasana. So you're going to be resting back for 5 minutes and just to receive and integrate this practice. To be able to receive and integrate those new movements in your physical body, but also mentally and emotionally, energetically as well. To notice what it was like to cultivate curiosity. You can continue resting back here. I'm going to sit up and read you a poem. This poem is called A Few Words on the Soul by Wisława Szymborska. We have a soul at times. No one's got it non-stop for keeps. Day after day, year after year may pass without it. Sometimes it will settle for a while, only in childhood's fears and raptures, sometimes only in astonishment that we are old. It rarely lends a hand in uphill tasks, like moving furniture, or lifting luggage, or going miles in shoes that pinch. It usually steps out whenever meat needs chopping or forms have to be filled. For every 1,000 conversations, it participates in one, if even that. since it prefers silence. Just when our body goes from ache to pain, it slips off duty. It's picky. It doesn't like seeing us in crowds or hustling for a dubious advantage, and creaky machinations make it sick. Joy and sorrow are two different feelings for it. It attends us only when the two are joined. We can count on it when we're sure of nothing and curious about everything. Among the material objects, it favors clocks with pendulums and mirrors, which keep on working even when no one is looking. It won't say where it comes from or when it's taking off again, though it's clearly expecting such questions. We need it, but apparently it needs us too, for some reason. Slowly invite movement back into your body. Wiggle and stretch out. Bend your knees. Roll to your side. And make your way up to a seated position so you can gather the fruits of your practice first into yourself and then offer them out into the world. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to the happiness and freedom for all. So give yourself a thumbs up for cultivating curiosity today, and put "I cultivated curiosity" in the comments. And if you'd like a PDF of my 9 most requested mudras, then go to melissawest.com/mudras and we'll send that right to your inbox. I'm sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. May your joy be as deep as our ocean. May you be as rooted as our old growth trees, and may you be as strong as our mountains. Om Shanti. Namaste.